So today, we're changing all 4 engine mounts on this 2015 Jeep Patriot. There's been a significant amount of vibration when it's parked, but especially when it's in drive. And we didn't know why until we decided to take a look at what happens when you hold the brake and put it in drive. You see it kind of moves a little bit. And you want to try reverse? Yeah, it moves a little bit too much for our liking. So what we're thinking is rear engine mount, but for the sake of getting them all done at once and not having to worry about it for a long time, we're going to do all 4. So we're going to do the transmission mount, front and rear engine mount, and the passenger side one. So now that we have the big plastic cover off, we can start getting this front mount out. And you can see it up there. There's the rear mount. This cross member is going to have to come out before we can access either of these though. So we're going to work on doing that. Got the cross member off. This is what the old front motor mount looked like, and then this is the brand new one that we're putting on. So really, this one wasn't too bad. There's no real major cracking or anything like that. It does feel a little bit fatigued compared to the brand new one, but that's just the way rubber is. But yeah, we're gonna unbolt it. There's just 2 16mm bolts that are in these 2 openings here, and then it's got this notch on it, so you can only put it into the K-member one way, which is this way. Yeah, and then we're gonna put it back, I think, and then we're gonna start working on getting the rear one out afterwards. So while my dad's over there cleaning up the K-member to repaint it, I figured I'd take liberties with a steel brush and brush all the rust off of all these bolts, so hopefully the next time they have to come out, there's a less chance of them seizing. I already did the 2 mount bolts. Now I'm going to do the K-member bolts. So that's the finished product. We just cleaned up the rust a little bit on the K-member. And then cleaned up some rust on the pan and just gave it a quick little spray here, as you can see. So that should last a little while longer, especially when we put the plastic under tray back on it. And once that dries, we'll put the front mount back in, and then we'll start working on the rear, which you can see there's a bolt that you access through this hole. By the looks of it, maybe not. Maybe it's this hole. Oh no, it's up top, I think. Yeah, it feels like there's a bolt up top there. And there's 2 back here, and then that one up there where it mounts to the engine itself. Okay, so the rear mount is in, the front mount is in, the painted K-member's in. So now we're gonna go topside and rip apart a whole bunch of stuff to get at the transmission mount and the passenger side engine mount, and then we'll be all done. All right, so we've moved the fuse box and its bracket out of the way. We just took this big metal piece off that holds the something, I guess. I don't know why it's there even, but now we can access the transmission mount. So it's just those 2 bolts that hold it to the fender. There's 1 bolt that holds it to the transmission itself. And then the bracket, I should say. And then there's this 1 bolt that holds the rubber to the bracket. So it shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. There's also these other two bolts on the side that I might have to take out. But otherwise, not as bad as the lower rearward mount, that's for sure. So we had to take the chunk of metal that sits on the transmission casing itself out in order to access these two lower bolts. I'll get the light so I can show you guys. There's these two lower bolts along with the two upper bolts, and you will not be able to fit a proper ratchet wrench on those two bolts unless you take this chunk of metal out, at least on the four-wheel drive models. I don't know if the two-wheel drive casing is a little different, but there are these two big 18 mil bolts that go in and fasten that down. You've already taken out two bolts in trying to remove the mounting bracket from the mount itself. So that's that. And then this is the new mounting here. So we're gonna put it all back together, and then we got one more that we're gonna have to remove and push them aside, all the reservoirs there. And then hopefully the vibration's gone. We haven't really found any super destroyed mounts yet, so we're banking on the passenger side engine mount being the problematic one, but if not, then we're going to be pretty confused, that's for sure. So now that it's all back in, gotta put the weird metal bracket on, and then we're putting the plastic in for everything, batteries going back in, and then on the... So we took the passenger side engine mount out, and while the rubber isn't ripped, we did notice that it does look like it's been fatigued a little bit, like it's compressed compared to the old one. So if you see where that's come down to versus this one, it's a little apparent. So that might be a culprit, because it does look like it's fatigued the rubber a little. So hopefully this is the problem, and we'll get significantly less vibration by installing this replacement part. Okay, well, we just finished buttoning everything up, so now we're gonna do the brake stand check and see if it moves. The key? Oh, I'll get you the key. There you go. Hopefully. All right. Huh? Yeah, it just feels like that. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't move as much, I don't think.